the second team, which is dealing with issues in Tucson. It's La Siembra. Sorry, I want to get the whole title properly. Sowing a New Model of Community Engagement Through Urban Agriculture Project. And Heather Gray, Jacob Robles, Jesus Romero, Sylvia Isabel Valdez of Flowers and Bullets Collective, and Moses Thompson of the University of Arizona and Tucson Unified School District will present. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Sylvia. I grew up in Barrio Centro, and I'm also the president of the Barrio Centro Neighborhood Association. We are here to present to the Haury program in environment and social justice to fund a model urban farm. Growing up, my family lifestyle consisted of consuming a 24-pack of beer, hot dogs, fast food, pizza, and a big ice-cold Coca-Cola. Reflecting on it now, that's probably why so many people in my family have high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. My mom had her first heart attack at 37, and my dad died at 53, in part due to diabetes. It's not like my mom did not try. I remember growing up, going to our neighborhood shopping center, and my mom being upset of how expensive and how mistreated the produce would be. The bananas would be too brown, the tomatoes would be mushed, and the strawberries would have mold already. At the time, we didn't question that it shouldn't be this way, just found what was decent and paid what we could. It wasn't until I was privileged enough to take a course in Mexican American Studies where I learned that having access to good foods depended on the area that you lived and how much you made. That's where I met Jacob and Tito, who were my peer mentors in my class. Being introduced to Flowers and Bullets, that's when I started to make the connection between what my family was eating, where we lived, and the diseases that were affecting my gente.
My name is Tito Romero. I'm born and raised in Barrio Centro, and I actually went to Julia Keene Elementary. Growing up, I wasn't necessarily the best student, but I always enjoyed learning. It wasn't until I got involved in a program my junior and senior year in high school, the one that Sylvia was just talking about, where I met mentors that look like me, talk like me, and can relate to the life that I lived. In this program, we used to travel across the country and get really inspired about different organizations doing amazing work. But it was bittersweet because when we would come back into my neighborhood, we wouldn't have any of that stuff. No murals, no youth centers, no access to healthy food, nothing really to get into except trouble, right? And in 2004, when our neighborhood school closed down, Julia Keene, there went our vaccination center, our voting booth, Halloween party, Christmas parties, youth sports, and most importantly, 2 meals a day for our kids. And it was around that time where heroin and prescription drugs really started flooding our community. And the thing about us is that we don't have the luxury to get up and go once our funding is up. We're born and raised in this community. And since we're not going anywhere, we might as well create that neighborhood that we like to see together. Because when we look out the window, we see our brothers and sisters who are struggling.
To us, food and seeds and planting is just the excuse. The real issues are what causes hunger. Like, why are we poor? There's root causes of hunger.
We just feel that, like, coming through these hardships and seeing everything that goes down in these neighborhoods, we can still create something beautiful.
The group submitted a professional proposal to reclaim the Julia Keene space into a headquarters for health and sustainability. On October 18th, 2016,
the item passes unanimously.
TUSD board voted unanimous 5-0 to award Flowers and Bullets the keys to Julia Keene Elementary School. What was an abandoned space for over a decade will now be known as the Midtown Farm, run by the neighborhood for the neighborhood.
I like it because it's like a cool process to see from, you know, starting out, just bare land, and then all of a sudden you have this structure and everything kind of has a process, and the kids get really excited when they're seeing it happen as well. So we're able to show them from our perspective of what a green space might look like in the barrio, you know.
My name is Moses, and I am with the U of A Community and School Garden Program and the Tucson Unified School District. I didn't know Mrs. Haury personally, but after she passed away, I became the custodian of her gardening tools. And today we use those tools to garden with school children in Barrio Hollywood, a community not unlike Barrio Centro. And just like those gardening tools, this project embodies the legacy of Mrs. Haury. We feel honored to have been invited to work with Flowers and Bullets, and through this partnership, we'll not just launch an urban farm, we'll work to develop a more socially just model of community engagement. Together, through this reciprocal partnership, we will leverage all of the support systems of the University of Arizona to help Flowers and Bullets grow towards greater independence while strengthening the way we work with U of A students and partner in the community. Through this project, we'll hire 2 Flowers and Bullets members to work with us. They'll receive full U of A benefits and have access to all of our support systems. Likewise, together we'll train in financial literacy, grant writing and reporting, and program evaluation so that we can sustain this project beyond this grant cycle. This is a more socially just model of community engagement, and this is the right partnership to get this project done. As you can see, Flowers and Bullets have deep expertise. In the U of A Community and School Garden Program, we've been working to push programs forward, gardening programs forward with community partners for over 10 years. Together, we'll launch the Midtown Farm, and with the support of the Haury Program in Environment and Social Justice.
Hi, my name is Heather Gray, and I'm a member of Flowers and Bullets. And we put this concept plan together with our partners to transform the school. And we got input from our neighbors, community members, and Davis-Monthan Air Force Base and the city to get it done. So we know it's feasible, and we know it's what our neighbors want and need. We're going to phase in use of the land over time, so we know that we are working on the right timeline, and we're testing models for business models for food production. So we want to let you know that we've already talked to TUSD Food Services, and we know we can get our fresh, local, healthy food on the plates of TUSD students, and we have commitments to buy from plant nurseries and restaurants that we're working with as well. Within 5 years, we expect about 40% of our income to come from, or our revenue to come from earned income from the food production, and the rest from grants and philanthropy. Outcomes are going to be workshops and work days for community members and students, and we're also going to be restoring native habitat around the property. Hopefully, we're going to purchase the entire property from TUSD and really make this a resource for our neighborhood to come together and have a place to heal and learn and grow together.
I'm Jacob Robles. I'm an artist and a farmer with Flowers and Bullets, and I also went to Julia Keene Elementary School. And for myself, Flowers and Bullets has been a way of healing. In my process of working with the earth, with the plants, with the elements, I was able to tap into these cultural practices that I had been disconnected from. At the same time, realizing that reconnecting to these traditions allowed me to address certain traumas that I have been carrying. Some are generational traumas, some are traumas I felt existed because of that lack of connection. I started to feel that planting and eating healthy wasn't just a way to become physically healthy, but that it was intertwined with all these other mental and emotional issues, and I saw these every day in myself, in my family, and in my community. The effects of our people being colonized and disconnected from our food and our cultural knowledge plays out in all these different illnesses and problems that haunted the people around me. So I saw these sustainability methods as our sacred tools for us to utilize and take care of one another. Healing has always been encoded in these ways. It led me back to reclaim all that has been lost and also reclaiming my mental and my physical health. And I wanted the same for my community in Barrio Centro. We're very grateful for this opportunity. We've come so far with very little resources, and with this funding will help us tremendously keep implementing the positivity in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very good. So you kind of answered part of our first question, but I'm going to modify it a little bit. First part of the question is, why did you choose that property? The second part of that question is, has TUSD agreed to sell you this property, and what kind of a price did they give you?
Guess the reason that we chose this property is because it's been abandoned since 2004. There's been a few tenants who come in that haven't necessarily been the best neighbors. They've put police watchdogs. Our kids that go to play at this park now will get arrested for trespassing. So that's not something that we wanted to do. Flowers and Bullets has been around for for 6 years now, and since then we've had this eye on the prize. What if we can get this elementary school that we all grew up in, that we all saw each other in, and create something beautiful from it? And that's kind of how we get that Flowers and Bullets, right? That dynamics. If you want to answer the TUSD question.
Yeah, so to the second part of your question, we do have a 5-year lease agreement with TUSD with an automatic 5-year option to renew, and we also have rights to purchase the property at an assessed market rate. And the lease that we're paying on the school is technically 10% of that market rate, so that's how that price came through as well. So we do have plans in the future. It's after the scope of this grant, so this funding would not be used towards purchase price necessarily, but that is our long-term goal.
Thank you.
Good evening. I just want to join the panel and just sharing appreciation for your proposal and this excellent presentation. And just hearing your personal experiences, I think, is very heartwarming to all of us. So thank you for sharing your personal stories as well. The question that I have is, what is the vision for this project beyond the grant term? You've kind of answered some of that. And can you be more specific about how you will pay for the lease beyond the grant term? That's one question. And then the second question is, are there other initiatives occurring within the community, and how does this tie into those other initiatives?
So with regards to continuing to pay for the property, we have been testing these business models for financial sustainability, and so we do envision selling the produce that we're growing on the farm to the buyers that I mentioned. So the idea is that we're constantly training our neighbors in urban agriculture, and there's jobs that are literally waiting to be filled by our people in other, with Flowers and Bullets, and also in other agencies. So it's really important that we get our community members trained up on our property to go out and take those jobs and move forward economically with their lives. So we're planning to sell produce that we grow on the farm, and then we're also continuing to raise money through grants and philanthropy. And the ratio that we came up with is based on what we've already achieved without even having land, without even just as a grassroots organization. So we know that this is going to be a multiplier effect in our ability to continue to raise money. And we're keeping it lean too. It's not going to be the most expensive, version of this project. And the second part of your question, was other community initiatives that go with it.
Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I'll repeat it for you. How does your project fit in with other initiatives that may be ongoing to revitalize the community?
So also, along with Flowers and Bullets, we have other ideas and other projects. Like Sylvia is the president of the Barrio Centro Association, and our neighborhood's actually split up into 2 associations, and I'm actually a co-chair on the other one. So how do we implement gleaning? How do we implement a recycling program? How do we implement a composting program? It's pretty interesting because we have access to the neighborhood newsletters that we can send out to thousands of people. We have mural projects that we've been incubating for the past couple of years as well. And like I said, since we're born and raised in the community, it's not a stranger's face when someone comes knocking. It's someone familiar, and sometimes we don't leave because they don't want us to leave for hours, right? But yeah.
Yes, and is there any potential Davis-Monthan or Davis-Monthan support organizations that may have impact funds to make this project more sustainable? And also, I mean, can you think of ways that can the base partner in this? Can the airmen on the base be of any assistance or help? Have you thought that through?
So we will be presenting to the Davis-Monthan community, what's the name of it? The Davis-Monthan Community Partnership on May 10th. So far in the meetings and talks that we've had with them, they've been very supportive. Many people there still remember when shutting the school down and have personal ties to that, what happened to our community.
Sorry, you have to stop.
So yes, the answer is yes.
Sorry. Thanks very much.
We would like to see them all funded, but unfortunately we can't fund them all. So without further ado, and I have to say that we were not influenced by audience reaction. This was based purely on our assessment of the merits. We award the challenge grant for 2018 to Flowers and Building.
all of our supporters, all of our family that are here. We work with our hearts, and I hope it shows. And I just want to send love out to the other two groups that are working just as hard as us. And we're in solidarity with